Good afternoon, welcome to Peg 3 on Lac de Premiere. It's Sunday afternoon of the Battle of Britain Challenge. As I mentioned already, we're on Lac de Premiere in France. And it's, what time is it, Q?
10 past 3.
10 past 3. We've had our first fish, we're just about to weigh it now. It's an interesting format actually for this 72 hours that we're fishing. It's a 5 fish catch, and you've got the option of basically, obviously if you catch 10 fish, your top 5 are the ones that count, and then you've got the option of swapping a couple out. So if you've had, say, a couple of 30s and you're lucky enough to get a couple of 40s, you can swap it around. I think it's going to make for a really interesting match, because it's not all about just numbers caught. So, you know, you could catch 100 fish and you're not necessarily going to win the match. So I think this is going to be really interesting. Anyway, like I said, we've had our first one now, which is good. Sunday afternoon. So yeah, let's get this weighed and see if we're going to keep this one. Should we do it, son?
Yeah.
It's not a whacker, mate, but
It's a good start though.
yeah.
Just shows as soon as the bait's gone in.
Well, yeah, I think it's probably worth saying actually, we've just literally finished baiting up probably right half an hour ago. Reckon must have put what, 4 kilo out?
I reckon
Probably,
so, yeah.
probably 4 kilos of a mix of Activate, Cell, and the hybrid. All of these baits are available on stock on site here. So obviously it's the fish used to feed me on it, so it seemed logical to bring it with. And it's certainly not down to coincidence that we put the bait in and we caught. So is that off the floor?
Look at that, mate. It's a lot bigger than what you think. That. Yeah, it's a lot bigger. How big do you reckon that is?
Upper 30s?
Oh, for some reason it pulled the scales right round tonight, so it must have been stuck to the mat.
Yeah. So what we got? £30, 14.
14. Not a bad guess.
Cool. Right, so we have a few more, son. Should we have a look at her then, do?
Yeah. So I think we need to talk about the thought processes. Are we going to keep it, or are we going to put her back
I don't know.
and wait for a bigger one?
I'm not sure, mate.
My choice would be, I think we put this one back because I'm confident we're going to get numbers of fish. I think once you get on the bait,
I must admit, this whole concept, it's a bit insane, because we've had a £30 and we're going to put it back. I hope we don't brew to regret this.
well, we know that there's a lot of fish in here. We know there's a lot of fish that are bigger than
You
that.
just watch that fish.
And I think we know we're gonna catch when they turn up.
So you reckon we're going to get 5 bigger than this?
Definitely.
How much do you want on that? I hope we do. I hope we do.
Willing to have €10.
€10 bet, eh? Easy, darling. I'll tell you what, mate, irrespective of, I think it was £20 or £40, I think it's just nice to get the first one in, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa.
As you mentioned, just to see the bobbin pull up tight.
No, it's mint. And they're nice fish as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
She's certainly rucked anyway. No,
Absolutely immaculate mouth. Yeah, really, really nice.
Cool. I'm well happy with that, dude. Right then, Sunday afternoon update. 20 to 6, mate. 20 to 6. So we've had that one fish earlier on, which was good. To be honest, I think I mentioned earlier on, it's basically you can weigh 5 fish in to actually count for your total weight for the match, and then you've got the option, if you want, you can swap 2 out for 2 other fish. So the fish we had, we just weren't sure what to do, because obviously we don't really know the venue that well. We've never been here before, have we? No. So before yesterday afternoon, we'd never even seen the place. So we weighed the fish. I think it was £30,
12 ounces.
£30, 12. So so we thought, well, we'll have a celebratory beer, you know. First fish of the match, it's got to be done.
Indeed.
And then we sort of had a slight difference in opinion as to what to do, to do with the fish. Do we keep it? Do we put it back?
I would like to state now that I would have opted to put the fish back. I'm confident we're going to smash them tonight. they kept the slate clean. However,
I don't know, maybe I'm just getting a bit old and sensible now. I thought, why is the 30-pounder? You know, get that on the score sheet, at least we've got one. I'm thinking, will we catch 6 or 7 fish bigger? I don't know, maybe we will. I hope we do. I hope you do. So, but at least we've got an option. So anyway, we've weighed it, we've put it in. So, well, as of 20 to 6, we're currently leading, I think, aren't we? I think there's been a bream caught, and I think there might have been 2 other smaller fish. I think the guys in the peg, which is sort of straight over the back of the reeds from us, where we're fishing close to. I think they've had 1.
Yeah, that's peg 4.
Peg 4, which they put back. Billy and Jamie in peg 16. They've had 1, which they've also put back as well. So we can only presume that they're smaller fish. So
I think it just shows as well before the match, the swims that were predicted to do it are doing it already. Those are the swims that have registered so far.
So far, anyway, yeah.
3,
absolutely.
4 and 16.
We'll see what tonight brings. Anyway, we've baited up anyway, just to give you some idea of sort of the tactics that we've gone for, because obviously, like I said, we've never been to the lake before. We got some basic information about things that work on here. Certainly, we've been told that like the mainline boilies do the business here, either the cell, activate, or the hybrid. So that was a bit of a no-brainer on what to bring with. But again, on baiting levels, how much do you put in to start off with? So we thought, well, we'll go relatively easy. I think the first couple of hours you put some bait out. I put single hook baits out as close to those fish that we were seeing.
I think the other thing as well, we're going to go against what we've been told, aren't we? Because we've been told to put an initial hit in of 2 or 3 kilos, which we've done, or there or thereabouts. But we're being told after that, just stick. I'm mega confident if them fish come on the bait, I think you'll be able to spot over them, and it'll not affect it. I think it's just quick way of getting a hit of bait out and keep the bait going in.
Yeah, I think the sort of the closest spot that you've got is what, about 90 yards, isn't it? So it's just on 80 yards. So it's just on that cusp of where you can get to with the wind pushing in, where you can actually get the bait out with a stick, I suppose. The long spot that I'm fishing at 140, you know, I haven't got a prayer of getting bait out there with the stick, so I've got to use the spod. But it was interesting, don't you think? It's weird though. I put that bait out probably 3 kilos, and that bite came, what, half an hour, 40 minutes after I put the bait out?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think the spod scares them.
Oh, we're away. It's kind of ironic, that cue, isn't it? We sit down and have a chat, and the same rod goes again, which I'm certainly not complaining about.
Well, it's funny, after that last bite we had a little game of predicting which rod is going to go. Again, this is the rod that we predicted. So.
Well, I think you got it right last time, didn't you? But we said, well, which one do we think will go again? And sure enough, it is. This is the only problem at fishing at 140 yards. It's a long way to bring them in. And this now suddenly sort of feels a bit bigger.
So how's it feeling?
I don't know. When I hit into it, it was really shaking about, and it felt small, but it's kind of feels a bit better now. There've been fish showing, and they're off the back of us along that reed bed. Well, since we got it yesterday afternoon, and we thought, well, if we can get down in here, then we're certainly close to fish. And sure enough, my little Maltese friend stood next to me.
I would like to point out...
Pulled out the swim that we wanted.
I would like to point out at this point how much like Neil Spooner Jerry looks at this precise moment.
What, a fat Neil Spooner?
Yeah, an out of shape Neil Spooner.
Yeah.
Slightly less handsome.
I reckon Spoons, he could be actually my skinnier, more talented, more beautiful brother.
Indeed.
Obviously I got the angling ability. Oh!
We're actually predicting that we could be quite busy tonight. We've had a tip off the bites of between sort of 12 o'clock midnight and 6 o'clock in the morning, so we're classing these as bonus fish really, and hoping to really do the damage tonight. But I guess you can't take anything for granted, and if you're getting bites, catching 30s, it's got to be a temptation to weigh them in.
or bigger, hopefully.
I was pretty worried early when an easterly wind started, and I just thought,
What date are we on today? Is it like the 20th of October?
we're late into October, aren't we?
It must have been. It's got to be like 20 degrees. We've been, you know, stood around in t-shirts this afternoon. It's been
Incredible. But that easterly started blowing, and I did think, are we going to get stitched up by sort of high pressure, but it's been swirling around, and it's switched back round.
There's still fish showing out the back now. They're well out of range though, those, but I think, you know, putting these hook baits out long at 140, I think we're getting as close to their home as possible. It's sort of the area that I'm putting them out towards. It's a definite safe haven, and I think that's why there were so many fish showing there sort of yesterday when we walked round.
Yeah.
It was really the only area we saw fish, wasn't it? So hence why we were not desperate to get in here, because it was out in the bag draw, but we were certainly happy when we ended up in here. Right, what have we got here? I haven't seen it yet.
Just breaking the surface.
I don't think it's a big fish, but
No.
it's nice to be getting bites.
I think it certainly looks like possibly a 20.
Right then, next one.
Grab them there.
Yeah, we do the do. Right, what I'll do, mate, I will walk back. Nicely done, mate. Get in. Number 2. Mr. Quibell. I can't even remember what the weight of this was. I know we've only had it probably 10-15 minutes ago. I think was it 29?
£29, 5 ounce, this one.
So, I think we've decided, I think we're going to be brave, probably with, do you mean we've got until Wednesday 9 o'clock, so I think this one's going to have to go back. It just seems shocking really, doesn't it, because it's, you know, it's a lovely fish, and I don't think I've ever thought about putting a 29 pounder back in a match, but we need our top 5 to count, don't we? So do you think be brave?
Upper 20s just aren't going to make the grade, mate. I just think
she's trying to hit me here.
I
think she likes you.
I'm still angry that we've weighed that low 30. I just don't think 30s and are going to do it. I reckon we're going to get 540s, but maybe that's overconfidence, I don't know.
There we go. She's a lovely fish anyway. She definitely deserves to be held up and get my t-shirt all slimy again.
Yeah.
But no, the stock of fish in Premiere, if this is like the average stock, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put her back.
I don't believe it, mate.
Because that ain't happening. Let's get her back, son.
Get her safe in there.
Nice to meet you, darling. Morning all, joining us. It's 10 o'clock on Monday morning, and yeah, I think our little camp was filled with quite high spirits as of yesterday afternoon. We'd had a couple of fish and it was looking good, and we thought there was a few more going to come our way, and to be fair, I think we're both a little bit dejected this morning. I think dejected and tired.
Indeed, it's all is quiet.
Yeah, it is at the minute, isn't it? So what's happened, Q? Do you want to run us through what's been going down? Or
well,
not been going down?
I think, as you've quite rightly said yesterday, unbelievably confident. We've drawn well, the fish in the area, we've got our game plan, we've got the rods out well, we've got the bait out, really confident in the bait and the presentations we've got, and we were told that the best period was sort of night time, so we sat sitting there rubbing our hands, even had a couple of hours sleep before the
What, before the carnage was going to kick in?
Well, the midnight slot.
Didn't really happen, did it? To be
And
fair.
yeah, just the one fish.
Well, I lost a couple, so I've done my bit to mess proceedings up. So yeah, wasn't particularly happy about that. Both bites on the long rod, should I say. The first one just beasted me. Literally, it's pulled up out the clip, and I've hit into it, and it's just surged and just smashed me to pieces. So wound in, gone back out again, put some more bait in, and then the other rod's gone. And I think you were up as I was playing it,
Yeah.
and then literally hook's just pulled. So I'm like, oh man, do you mean that's just 2 on the bounce? You think we've landed, at that point we'd landed 3 fish, haven't we? So
Yeah.
I think another 2 bites. I'm sure one of them was a better fish. That first one I lost in the night, that just the power was just unbelievable. What was your fish? It was 20, 24 something?
24, yeah. It was a rod that I'm really confident in. It's the one off into the bay. I've got a vacant swim to my right hand side. There's no lines in there at all except for my one, which I've kept reasonably slack and out of the way. We had a lot of fish crashing down there last night, which I really thought I was going to have a few, but unfortunately it's just not materialised.
Yeah, it's not really happening. I must admit, I thought we were going to get bites this morning. That wind started to push in, and it looked good. It really looked good. But yeah, for the moment, I think we're going to hang fire on the baiting. From what we've heard on the score sheets, and this is where it gets interesting. Obviously, we've had the 31 pounder, which we've weighed just to get us on the score sheet, which I think put us into first place for a while, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then we'd heard that the lads in peg 4 had caught, and I think they've weighed one fish in.
41, I think.
A 41.
Yeah.
So they've got 10 pound on us, and I think Billy and Jamie have had 6 or 7 fish, and I think they've weighed in 2, haven't they? They had a 40 and a 36. Yeah, so they're pushing potentially 90 pound then.
But I think
Is that right? Is my maths right?
I think they've thrown 3 or 4 30s back as well.
Yeah.
Without weighing them.
Well, obviously they're confident of getting more action.
Yeah.
You know, to be fair, as we were as well, weren't we? It's just we could really do with. I feel happy if we were getting more bites, but at the minute I think we're just going to have to sit tight. But you know, do we tough it out, or is it going to come down to like the final morning, and we're scratching to get a 5th fish, and then it's sort of, you know, it comes back. You know, should we have kept that 29? And oh man, it drives you mad.
I think
you don't know what to do for the best.
Something else sort of broke one of my golden rules of French fishing and match fishing as a whole, really, and I've already changed my plan. After 24 hours I've gone longer towards Billy and Jamie's spot. Obviously I'm still quite far away, but just think your longer rods are sort of cutting me off slightly, and I needed to go a bit further just to sort of bring those 2 rods into play.
Well, yeah, there's nothing happened on those, was it? And it's, I suppose, between our 6 rods, it's just trying to maximise, you know, every rod, but without overcrowding and sort of making it hard for ourselves. But just to give you some perspective, where we are in peg 3, if you look directly up the lake, or sort of directly in front of me where I'm pointing, you've got the clubhouse and the restaurant, and then Billy and Jamie are over to our right, halfway down, like the narrow bank. They're casting across. They've got a casting limit, I think, of 100 yards, and to be fair to them, I think they've stuck to it, which literally means they're dropping sort of directly in front of Matt,
Yeah.
but obviously a long way up. And the fish definitely moved out of the reeds and came onto their bait last night, because I think they'd had a bream and a smaller fish, I think, during daylight, and then obviously during the night the fish have pushed out into the deeper water. They've caught a few, and I think you going that little bit longer, I think, is definitely a good idea.
Yeah. Obviously the risk is that I don't want to cut my rod off that's down into the corner, but there's still a nice channel for him to sort of move across and down the tree line. So let's see what happens, but I think at the minute we're just sitting on our hands, not making any more disturbance.
Just try and keep it as quiet as possible, and just hopefully a few more fish will drift in. We're still seeing them showing out really long, sort of probably 170s, 180s, so really just want them just to push that little bit near, and hopefully just by being quiet and, you know, leaving hook baits out there, you know, we might get a bit of action this afternoon.
Yeah, well, you got a few bites yesterday, didn't you? A couple of bites, sort of mid to late afternoon.
Yeah, not really when we expected to get bites either, was it? So you think, well, yeah, the evening would be prime for it, but no, it was, you know, it was a nice bonus to get those 2 bites in the afternoon.
There's been less disturbance today so far, so
we've not been foaming it as much as
well. You've got
what we did yesterday.
Some bait established, so let's see. That's if you haven't been cleared out.
Oh no, that's the trouble when you get a bit sleep deprived. Everything seems worse, doesn't it? It's just like you end up doing your own head in, just thinking, oh, it's all gone wrong. But no, I think we just got to be patient, mate. We've done this enough times now that, you know, you have like your first night and you don't get a lot of sleep, and then it all seems a lot worse in the morning. But I think sometimes you just got to be a bit patient and yeah, let the fish come to you.
The thing is with this format as well, you could do a 40 and, well, 3 or 4 40s and a 50 on the bounce, and you just never know. Yeah.
Go on then, mate. Fill your boots, get stuck in.
Or you could smash a few 20s, or we could not have another fish. So it's an interesting one.
Oh man, we'll see. We'll see. Right, I think we're due an update. Monday evening, time check Q, what we're about, 6?
Yeah, I believe it's 10 to 7.
Oh, a bit later.
Thereabouts.
Nothing to report though, in terms of captures. It's been a tough day, to be honest. Mentally anyway, just still been seeing shed loads of fish, long, like silly range. But yeah, you know, we've stuck at it today. Slightly tweaked our plan for tonight. You've gone out longer with those 2 rods. We put bait out, haven't we? So pretty much done the same as what I did last night in terms of putting bait out on my long rods. I just hope it draws the fish in later on. I think what we're hearing in terms of the competition thus far, I believe four of the pairs have caught. And I think at this stage last night, I think we were in 1st place and I think we're in 4th. So a lot changed overnight and this morning.
We've just seen a camera flashing up the top end as well, haven't we? So that could be another.
It could be a 5th pair then.
Yeah.
So we could be 5th or 4th, which is almost technically last. But yeah, it just goes to show how things could change. I think there's been quite a few fish slipped back from what the bailiff told us earlier on.
Yeah. I think we had that big just before dark last night as well, or well into dark. We had that massive deluge of cold rain just before sort of prime bite time, which could that have made the difference?
I don't know, it could have dropped the water temperature a little bit.
This evening's beautiful, isn't it?
It's
warm.
To be fair, all day it's been awesome, but you know, like this afternoon we've just been sat literally just watching.
The wind's been hacking down here, hasn't
it? Yeah, it has been a nice breeze, but it doesn't seem to have pushed any fish sort of. Certainly not within your water. We've not seen anything.
No.
Further out from where I am, yeah, in their little safe haven, they're still showing there. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens tonight. I'll have to say, yeah, I do feel confident that we'll catch. I just hope there's, you know, if we can get a couple of decent fish, you know, put us right in there again, won't it? Oh, excellent. Crews are ready. In the meantime, while we're sat waiting and watching, it'd be rude not to have a coffee, really, or a tea in your case.
Got to get on the teas and coffees, mate.
Yeah,
shame about the old French milk. Not quite the same, is it?
No, it's not the best, is it? But yeah, that sort of that brings us up to date anyway, doesn't it? So yeah, we're happy. We could be happier. But yeah, see what tonight brings.
Indeed.
Good luck, George.
Best of luck.
Well, it's 9 o'clock Wednesday morning. The final hooter to signify the end of the match has just been blown. Yeah, I think we've ended up in 2nd place by the sound of things, mate, haven't we? So it ended up being pretty close going into that final night. You know, we had a couple more fish. Bill and Jamie, I think, were on 4 fish. I needed a 5th to weigh in, and I think they've had another 3 this morning. So I would say I think they've done us, old chap. But it's certainly been fun, hasn't it? So managed to get some bites yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean it's just been a lot harder than certainly what I anticipated. I know at the start of the video diary I was so confident we were going to catch loads of fish. However, we've really had to go to scratching tactics, haven't we? Winkle, fish out. It's been really difficult. Well, to a degree it's been difficult, and I think we've just been let down by the average size of the fish.
Yeah,
to be fair.
I think we probably were a bit unlucky. No 40s amongst our haul, 230s, and the rest have been, you know, they've been lovely fish, all of them. You know, the 20s, and they're proper scrap. But yeah, a couple of bigger fish would have really helped us out. And we certainly can't say that we haven't worked it, because you know we've worked our socks off, to be fair. So, but it's been it's been a great event. 72 hours, it's absolutely flown by. I think we could probably both do with a bit more sleep. I'm absolutely shattered, mate. I don't know about you.
I think neither of us want to go home. Neither do. No one likes last mornings in France, do they?
No. Well, it's pack up time, I guess, for us now. And then presentation of the cup. Unfortunately, it's going back to Essex by the look of it, rather than going back to Sheffield with us. But you know, we'll be back next year to have another go.
Definitely, mate.
Well in, son.
Mate.
It's been a pleasure. Well angled, boy. And yeah, let's get this presentation done, and obviously, yeah, let's get packed down, have a shower, and go home.
Sounds good.
Same. Well, that's it. Pack up done, presentation, shower, home.
Right, thank you everyone for turning up. This year's winners at the event, we'll start off with fourth place, Team ATT, £73, 4 ounces. Well done, Team ATT. Third place, Team Tasker, £95. Well done. Second place, we have Team Trakker with £137, 4 ounces. Well done, lads. And the winners of this year's 2013 Lac de Premiere Masters Battle of Britain goes to Team Calder with £167, 8 ounces. Well done. You come forward, Jamie and Billy. Congratulations. Well done. There you go. Speech. We need a shot this way. Oh. Come on, team speech. I've got the mic, so yeah, can't it me.
Cheers everyone for turning up. It's been a good match. Really enjoyed it. So, that's about it.
That's your lot. That's all you're getting.